What's new with the Google Home Assistant? I was curious too, so stick around as we get into that in the question of the day. What's up, guys? Matt in the Hat, Matt Johnson Real Estate, powered by Keller Williams Diamond Partners. You are tuned in to the Hot List. I come to you on Monday through Friday each and every week. We hang out and we talk real estate. We talk properties new to the market with recent price reductions, as well as something unique about the property that I want to share, want everybody to know. I also answer a question of the day that is submitted by a listener of the podcast. And of course, we recognize and thank a sponsor of the week each and every single week. And if you have a question of the day that you want answered, all you got to do is stick around to the end of the episode. And if you are potentially interested in a sponsorship and helping out the show, all you got to do is just stick around. As you all come in here, if you would share this out on Facebook, if you are one of my YouTubers checking this out on my YouTube channel, thanks for stopping by, checking it out. All you got to do is show some love, hit that thumbs up button, doesn't cost you anything, helps with the algorithm, and of course, subscribe to the channel, turn on those bell notifications. The property we're talking about today, the address is 2048 Sherry Street. It is in Burlington. It is just down the road a few miles. It's a 4-bed, 2-bath house. It is a 2-story house, has an attached 2-car garage, very large size garage, 2,778 square feet of finished space, currently listed at $170,000, courtesy of Keller Williams One Legacy Partners. This is a very cool property. It has a very unique stone wall inside, so make sure you click on the link. That will take you right to the website, and you can see the pictures for yourself, as well as if you have any questions about the property, all you got to do is just reach out to me through my website. But you definitely want to check out this house. It's on a corner lot in the Country Club Heights area in Burlington. It's on just over a half acre of land with golf course right around the corner. It has an open floor plan from the kitchen to the dining room, and it has a sunken in living room, which I think is very, very cool. It also has some very tall, large cathedral ceilings. I mentioned that stone wall, and then it has some exposed beams that are trimmed out and look very, very cool as well. So if you want to see this for yourself, all you got to do is just click on the link in the description, and it will take you to my website so you can see these pictures for yourself. And of course, if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer those for you all as well. Before I get into the question of the day, I do want to recognize and thank our sponsor of the week this week, and that is Mark II Lumber. Mark II has been around the Emporia area for years. They first opened up in 1969, courtesy of the Markowitz brothers, and they've been around here. They have over a 10,000 square foot showroom floor, as well as some offices, and they've been selling those quality materials and helping out not only the do-it-yourselfers, but contractors as well. They've helped answer a number of questions for me. I can't thank them enough for the questions they have answered, the help and direction they have given me as well, and that they're going to be helping me with in the future, because yes, I still have some projects going on and some projects planned. So to Mark II Lumber, thank you guys so much for being there, just being a resource for myself as well as anybody else to reach out to and stop by and get their questions answered. If you guys are curious, if you have a business, you're a business owner, you're curious how you can become a sponsor of the week, all you have to do is just reach out to me here through Facebook or wherever you're listening to this at, and just drop in the comments. I would be happy to jump on a phone call with you and see if we are a good fit, mesh well together to be a sponsor of the week and support the show. So all you got to do, just drop comments. Now, moving on to the question of the day. Question of the day is submitted by a listener of the show each and every single week. I've been doing this for over a year now with your help and support. I greatly appreciate that. Keep those questions coming. If you have a question that you want answered in general, drop me a message. If you have a question you want answered on the show, drop me a message. That's all it takes, and that is how I am able to continually do this show. All right. So, question of the day. What's new with Google Home Assistant? Now, for those that don't know my background, was a I am still a pretty tech savvy person. I worked for Verizon Wireless for 4 years, and it was absolutely amazing. Had a great time with it. Um, Probably more fun with that than I know management would have preferred me to have. But because of Verizon, I became very tech savvy and a very, very techie kind of person. That's where I learned the ins and outs, and my techiness kind of began, and I still nerd out over a few things. Alexa and Google Assistant or Google Home are two of the ones that I'm always going back and forth with, and I like to compare. There's so many smart devices out there, as well as smart assistants that are currently on the market. All of them provide users with hands-free access to information and services, uh, whether it's from your smartphone or dedicated devices. And why I was really looking forward to this question, and I'm sure somebody asked this question of me because of my background having worked at Verizon Wireless. So I'm sure that's where this question came from. But Google Assistant has introduced a number of new features that can be used and utilized through Google Home. If you have Google Home or considering it over Alexa, here are 6 new features for Google Home. Number one, they are making the smart home smarter. This has been a huge focus of Google Assistant and their changes for Google Home. They are expanding the number of smart home devices that are compatible with the technology. Many companies are selling the devices for smart homes. Some are major companies, others are smaller companies and startup companies. What Google's been doing is they are trying to and working to accommodate all of the devices. Doesn't matter if it's a major company or a startup. Their goal is to accommodate more devices than ever before. And with them doing this, this is ensuring that the small innovative companies are not left behind, because you never know, they never know which is going to be the next big startup and just take off, the quote unquote overnight success. Now, early adopters, I am not as early of adopter as I used to be. I am working on getting back to that. But early adopters themselves try to automate their home with Google Assistant because they want to ensure the compatibility with all the other companies, and that's really what it's about for those early adopters and takers. Number two, easily adding devices. Along with the compatibility, Google Assistant is working on streamlining and has streamlined the process to add different devices. This is done both to reduce the steps required to add devices, as well as prevent confusion for homeowners that may not be as tech savvy as some other people. With streamlining the process, Google hopes to make their Google Home device simple enough and user friendly enough that anybody can use it effectively without having either a lot of tech experience or background, or just you're able to do it through the Google Assistant app. Number three, scheduling actions. This is another big feature that has actually recently been added, because the ability to schedule actions on connected devices just gives you that flexibility, and they want it to be a little more natural and a little more seamless than what it is right now, or what it has been in the past. So simply by telling it what action you want it to do and when you want it to do it, Google Assistant is going to schedule the connected devices like a coffee maker, for example, to start brewing. Or if you have a connected thermostat, it'll change that temperature at the time of day or time of night. Their goal with this is to make the scheduling actions easier and simpler, as well as more intuitive for the Google Assistant users. Number 4 is a big one for a lot of people out there. It is improved privacy. Now, I know uh, first thing you think about is Big Brother watching, listening in. That's what the rumors were for a while with the Google Home as well as Alexa. That's just going to be something we're all going to have to either adapt to, adjust, or not have the device, um, because who knows? None of us really know it at this point how deep it goes. But it seems like every week or every month there's more data breaches and other privacy concerns that are popping up in the headlines and social media feeds, and it's just one of those things. What Google Assistant has done and Google has done, they've taken steps to improve the privacy and the security of their Google Home devices. These changes also make it easier to remove searches and other bits of history from the memory. You can either do it manually by going into the settings or the app, or you can use voice commands to remove it directly from the Google Home device. Even if you tell Google something that wasn't meant for that particular device, you can have Google Assistant delete that item right then and there, and just makes it a little simpler and a little easier, so you don't have to try to remember to go back and do that later. Number 5 on the list is my second favorite feature, which that we're going to talk about, is the smart display notes. Now, this gives the ability to add virtual notes to compatible smart displays or devices from anywhere in the house. The notes are going to be viewable to anyone with access to the displays, and they are just left there by telling Google Home to leave the note, who to leave it for. And of course, you have to provide what you want the note to say. Then that note is going to appear and remain until someone removes it after reading it. And finally, number 6 is workday routines. This is my favorite new feature about Google Home. Because of the large number of people working from home this year, Google really pushed this update because they wanted to add workday routines into the Google Assistant. This doesn't mean it's only intended for those that are working from home. This is encouraged to work on the routines that break down our day into a variety of activities. For example, appointments, reminders, especially people like myself working remote, working from home. Maybe just a reminder to get up, stretch, maybe pick up your kids. You're with those that are back to school, you may not have been the person before or not expected to pick up your kids before because either somebody else did it or they rode the bus. So that's a good reminder as well. And of course, if you have, lunch date with your spouse, you definitely want to put that as a reminder and not get sidetracked with the time and get that phone call from your spouse, be like, where the hell are you? We were supposed to meet 20 minutes ago. That would not end well for you. I know it would not end well for me. So that is another feature as well. Now, this works with both the Google Assistant app as well as Google Home devices. These reminders are just in there to help structure your day and make sure that you don't miss out on anything important, like, picking up your child. So there they are. Let's run through them one more time. The 6 new features from the Google Assistant is: 1, they are making the smart home smarter by just simplifying it and adding some of the bigger focuses and more compatibility with devices. Number 2, simplifying adding devices with compatibility, reducing the steps required, and helping those homeowners that are not quite as tech savvy as some others. Number 3, scheduling actions. This is going to be having connected devices like your coffee maker or thermostat that we talked about, just telling your Google Assistant you want it to do this action at this time, and it gets it done. Number 4 was improved privacy, with just making it easier to remove some of the searches without having to go in and do it manually. Number 5, my second favorite feature, the smart display notes that you can leave and just tell it what you want it to say, who you want to leave it for. They can read it and delete it afterwards. And of course, number 6, my favorite feature, which is the workday routines, just a way to help structure your day and a reminder to, get up, walk around, stretch, maybe let the dogs out, or go pick up your kid. You don't want to forget them. So I'm curious, who listening to this has Google Home? Do you like using Google Home? How is it compared to the Amazon Alexa? Have you had that? Have you had one? Have you had the other? Have you had both? I would be curious to know. And what do you guys use it for as well? Do you use it for only certain things? Is it for entertainment purposes? Is it for wrangling your kids? For setting reminders? Please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear, because everything is becoming, with your smart homes, is becoming more and more mainstream. These devices are added for convenience and simplification of the smart home. So how do you, I know how we use it here. I would be curious how you guys use it as well. So make sure you drop some comments and let me know how you use it. And I'd love to see what you got, see how you guys use it and what works for you. That's going to wrap it up for me on this Red Friday. So thanks for watching with Matt in the Hat, Matt Johnson Real Estate, powered by Keller Williams Diamond Partners. I do this because your experience matters and should be trusted with a veteran. Y'all have an awesome Friday, and tune back in for Monday.